performing and writing in the city for the last 15 years. He's great, you're gonna love him. Dave Stinton, everybody.
So, the other day I had the biggest Freudian slip. Sorry, not Freudian slip, erection. So guys, it turns out I'm getting married this year. And I love my fiance very much, but I have to admit it's a little annoying when she watches sports with me. Because she's always asking questions about what's going on. She'll be like, wait, who is that? And I'll say, that's the pitcher, sweetheart, we've been over this. And she'll say, he's on like a 120 pitch count, why is he going back out there in the 7th inning with a 4-run lead? Shouldn't they put in Gonzalez? Isn't that exactly why we traded for him? And I'll say, I assume he's going to throw that ball as fast as he can, so the other man can't hit it with a stick. I'm not a jock, not a jock. Although I did play a little t-ball in grade school. Holler! Holler, what I suppose. Do you still follow t-ball? I don't follow what you're doing. It kind of lost its flow for me. Our coach was fond of telling us, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, everyone dies alone. So I have this friend of mine who claims that he is not into porn. And I don't believe him because he is in an a cappella singing group. And I've seen several of his concerts, and without exception, they always perform Kiss from a Rose by Seal. Gorgeous, lush harmonies rising and falling in perfect unison. Kiss from a Rose is pornography for a cappella groups. There is more than one way to selflessly pleasure yourself, and I'm just astonished that there's one way to do that it's okay to do in front of a paying crowd. I would never feel joy in front of you guys. I respect you too much. So we tell our 13-year-old boys, don't pick on the awkward, gangly girl at school because you're going to be begging her for a date one day. And she's going to blossom into a beautiful swan. And yes, it's a lie. But it's a benevolent lie. I mean, we're all adults here. We know how it works. The ugly kids stay ugly. That's one of the things you can count on. Look to the story of the ugly duckling. Do you guys know that story?
Yeah.
How does the ugly duckling get out of being ugly?
It's a swan.
She's a swan. The ugly duckling gets out of being ugly by never having been a duckling in the first place. The message is clear. Well, little kid, you're pretty ugly, but maybe you can hold on to that hope that you're not actually a little kid. Maybe you're a sunset over a Tuscan vineyard. On the other hand, a coworker of mine recently had twins. And adorable little identical twin girls, and they're very, very cute, but they're always awake at the same time and asleep at the same time. And they get angry, or hungry, or happy, or fussy, always at the same time as each other. They are under the impression that they're the same person. And the thing is, biologically speaking, I'm having a hard time arguing with them. They came from the same zygote. They have the same DNA. Who am I to tell them that they're not the same person? Identical twins are essentially a superorganism made of babies. Does that creep anyone else out? The next time we hear someone rail against gay marriage as being some sort of abomination against nature, we have to point something out to them. Homosexual fornication has never resulted in an ant farm filled with like-minded infants. That's on us. That's the street people who do that. And the man-on-dog love that Republicans seem to think is around the corner from that? The worst that can happen there is some new species. Some Cujo sapiens. And no, I am not saying that I deserve to have some sort of personal army of indestructible dog men at my bidding. You you are deliberately twisting my words when I'm saying it. Is that Valentine's Day is coming up. And if you wanted to surprise me, I could use a couple of indestructible dog mail. So, when I eventually fall off a cliff, as we all will, I bet without even meaning to do this, I will make my voice arc downward as I fall. Because it just seems like that must be etiquette. But in real life, you don't have to do that. The Doppler effect takes care of all of that for you. You don't have to do a damn thing. Just sit back and scream. So, you're not supposed to hit a guy with glasses. And you're not supposed to hit a girl. So, I think you're fine hitting a girl with glasses. Because it's a double negative. You know what else I hate about this fucking country? There is no good way to buy condoms. I'm 38 years old, I'm engaged to be married, and I am mortified, wandering around a Walgreens with a box of condoms in my sweaty hand, covering it up with my Nutter Butters. I'm certainly not going to use a cloak of sausage sandwiches. That's right out of the question. And sometimes they have them behind the cashier. I'm not going to ask a little old lady to hand me a condom like I'm some sort of libertine in a brothel. She'll know I'm sleeping with my fiance. Or sometimes they do have them in the family planning aisle, and I love that euphemism, by the way, family planning, in that I am planning a distinct lack of family. I am planning a family-shaped hole in my life. Those deathbed regrets have to start somewhere. Let's get on them. So they have them in the family planning aisle. They're locked behind a plexiglass door, and you have to press a button to summon the guardian of carnal pleasures. And he comes out and you have to make your case for why you deserve a box of condoms. And I don't deserve a box of condoms. I can't even pretend I deserve them. They're a treat. You would think, by this point, they would have a service where I could walk into a Walgreens, not make eye contact with anybody, perform a series of discreet hand gestures, and then a week later the condoms would appear inside a false parking meter somewhere in the city, where I could pick them up in the dead of night. What year is this? So, if you walk along Clark Street, through Wrigleyville, on a Saturday night, and by the way, don't. You'll notice an interesting phenomenon. The women are all gussing up to within an inch of their lives. The men put forth an effort too, but for guys it's more a matter of finding a shirt without mustard on it. But the women, they're out there with their sparkly tops and their short skirts and their makeup and their hair. They are truly on display. And I'm trying to figure out the biological reason behind this, because in the animal world, it's the males who are more decorated and colorful for the sake of attracting a mate, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like I say, cardinal. And what comes to mind? Besides Catholicism, you know. And now you're thinking about Albert Pujols? Okay, yeah. He's not with the Cardinals anymore. He's in Anaheim, let it go. And now everybody is thinking how hilarious it is that there's a guy whose name is Pujols. Yes, that's very funny. Will you grow up for a second? I'm trying to tell you something. I say cardinal, and you think of this gorgeous, fire engine red specimen of a bird. That's the dude. That is the male cardinal you are thinking of. Have you ever seen a female cardinal?
Yeah.
No. They're not worth looking at. In the cardinal world, it is the female that's like this. Stop! And that is true of any bird you can think of. That's true of the cardinal, the blue jay, peacock. When you grow up, you've heard the word peacock. That is true of the peacock, the bush tit, the nuthatch, the blue-footed booby, the yellow-scroted buttworker, the long-tailed pap smear, the shitwing, the gray-crested fuck buddy, the fart hen, the speckled granny panty, the nut-punching cocktease. Beautiful males, all of these pieces. The orange-crested anal lozenge. The northeastern orange-crested anal lozenge. The 69osaurus rex. The finch. Not puffins. But any other word you can think of. And I have to be honest, as a male of the species myself, it's a little embarrassing to see these men of the animal kingdom mincing around in their colorful feathers and their majestic crests and their beautiful songs. I want to be pretty. What's wrong with that? Why is that not masculine, that I want to be pretty? But I can't pull it off. I have this face that literally grows hair if I leave it unattended. What kind of body is that? I lumber around with this mutant upper body strength and this lump on my neck and this ugly thing. Nobody likes that. I just want to be beautiful, like a fart hen. And I know I never will be. Thank you for letting me talk to you about birds.